what you are living right now, what you experience right now, this goes for everybody, the situations, just heavy feelings you may have, the constant feeling of, oh, is it Friday yet? Is it Saturday yet? Just that heaviness that you're living with. Whatever you're experiencing right now is a result of what's been going on in your mind. It's a total sum. So you have some joyful thoughts and some happiness and some feeling of ease, and then you have some that are not so comfortable. And so it's a balance. And ideally, we want to spend a little more time, in the least, in the more positive arena of desirable thoughts, of having fun, of enjoying things in life, enjoying things in your day-to-day. And I'm talking about little things, appreciating little things. And I'm not talking about necessarily gratitude. It's simply a noticing of something and enjoying it or appreciating it or really looking at the fine detail. And you're in a neutral state when you're doing this, and it's actually a huge lift from where we usually spend our time. This creates an extremely comfortable, peace-filled outcome. And I don't mean 10 years from now. I'm meaning starting in the next moments. And then the next day is very different. So, yes, what you're living now is a result of what's been going on in your mind, or the equivalent vibration. So it may not be the exact challenge, but the vibration of that is the same as the kinds of thoughts you're thinking and whatever you're experiencing next. Okay? So, this person said, I never imagined or thought of this current challenging experience, because she's going through a personal challenge right now. And it's a big one. And it involves another person. And this person did something she did not want to have happen. So I just want to clarify that so you get the idea. She wants to know, is this current experience of this other person's decision because of her thoughts? I'm going to take us on a little side road here, because especially in this case, this is a big stepping stone for what this person needed to go through to get to the other side for what she wants. She wants something big. It reminds me very much of what I went through in 2016. Yet she's going through this experience so calmly and, I'm going to say, comfortably, and feels a sense of joy and love inside. And this is the exact opposite of what she wanted. But what this is taking her to what she really wants, which may also include this person back in her life. It may not, but it wouldn't be surprising. But through this experience, not only is the other person growing exponentially, because it's what that person needed to do, it's primarily what this person needed to get to what she really wants. And she's already starting to live what she really wants at the same time. Things that she never dreamt of have shown up. See, what happens when we choose a dream? We're human. We can only see so far. We can only grasp an idea. It's more based on what we've seen in life and what we believe can happen. And even though I ask or suggest you stretch beyond that, we can only see so far. When you're at the bottom of a staircase, you can't see what's going on that top floor, because you only see these steps. When your dream comes true, it may look like what you planned or you had in your mind, or it may be far greater. And the reason it shows up as far greater is you simply provided the direction for life to go, and you could not see the thing that would make you even happier. And that's what takes place. This is when you really go for a miracle. It is so far greater than anything you could have planned for or dreamt of having. In addition, that main thing, I always suggest choosing a focused idea. Excuse me. Choose a focused idea for your dream. When you do that, everything else you ever wanted comes true too. New skills and abilities are birthed in you. You don't even know it's happening. You don't feel any different, but you have these abilities to do these things or know these things or paint. It can show up in any number of ways. It's what you're doing is fully blossoming. If you imagine a flower that has so many petals, a lotus, it's that unfolding. That's what's happening to you when you go for your dream. And it just, it starts slowly as these petals unfurl, and then it goes poof, and the dream comes true. This is how we grow, how we awaken. And we're meant to do this. We are simply experiencers of life. And life's not an accurate word. I just don't have another word. That's all we are, is experiencing. And we get to choose, do we want it to be more pleasant, or do we want to just let what happens? I want to focus my imagination into something I really want. It's so much easier to live that way. It's so much fun. It's happening in my life again right now. And I'm amazed, because when it happened to me in 2016, I didn't have the level of experience that I have as I do from looking back. So throughout my life, I've had miracles, but I never knew why. I didn't know what I was doing. And in 2016, when the absolute impossible happened kind of over and over again, it allowed me to really kind of take apart and see what I did, what happened, and how the results showed up. And so this time around, I'm actually noticing, paying more attention. It's like, oh, the ideas and inspiration are flowing through that I didn't have a week ago. Doors are opening, new opportunities. I'm seeing further. So you might be noticing these things, and oftentimes when we notice them, we don't think anything of it. Allow those things. I ended up, I don't know what day it was, when all this download came. I just sat in the garden, which I sit in the garden, but I'm playing solitaire, I'm watching my animals, I'm checking my pictures, And this time it was hours, and all this stuff was like, just remarkable information for me that I personally needed came through. And trust me, I don't live like that. I just live like everybody else. But it was just a wonderful experience. So start to notice what's going on in your life. When you see a challenge, when something happens, a phone call comes, you're disappointed, your date got canceled, whatever it is, remind yourself that this is taking you closer to your dream, that your dream is happening faster because of this. Your dream can happen because of this. Without that little challenge, your dream can't come true. You don't have the stepping stone to get there. It bridges you to your dream. We need that. So it gives us another way of looking at that challenge. And when we find that other way of looking at it, not like, oh, damn it, look what happened. My tile floor in the kitchen's cracked. If we look at it from a different perspective, oh my gosh, the floodgates just open. and life becomes miraculous. Remember I talked about the spontaneous healing I had like 15 years ago? When I fell, I slipped on the wet tile floor, and the next day I couldn't stand. I actually, when I stood up, got out of bed, I collapsed to the floor. It was like my leg wasn't attached anymore, and so I couldn't lift my leg from the floor anymore after that. I had to drag my pant leg to be able to propel myself forward. Otherwise, I would collapse in pain. And when the fall happened, the most remarkable thing spontaneously happened, and that was the thought that ran through my mind. Instead of my usual way of being, like, what will people think and how embarrassing this is? I'm in a dress, I'm dressed up, and here I slip and my legs go over my head, and it was, I'm sure, pretty attractive. And so my normal thinking would have reflected that experience. And yet, instead, the thought that went through my mind that I recall, I wonder what adventure this will bring. Totally random. And I wasn't real happy when I got up because it was, there's people around and stuff like that. But it was not my usual way of thinking. It was elevated from that. And within a year and a half is when I had the spontaneous healing. To me, I'm such a hard sell and very skeptical when it comes to certain things, that I needed that kind of proof over and over and over again. That's what the miracles have been like in my life. It's just giving me proof for something greater to happen. And that's when I had the spontaneous healing, and I've been walking normally ever since. Life can be like this. Let's change our perspective a little bit. And we do this just one thought at a time. You adjust a few of your thoughts during the day, the difference will be remarkable. What I don't want to have happen is to have you think, I'm not going to watch, it's too tedious to notice what I'm thinking. We don't have to do it all day long. We just do it here and there. And then it starts to happen automatically. You start to do it more. You just sort of notice, well, I don't need that thought. I'm going to change it. Or I'm going to stop thinking about that. And then all of a sudden it will become like it's on autopilot and you're not doing it anymore. It just works for you.